Twitter. What is going on, everyone? This is the Fourth and Fantasy Podcast, episode 46, coming your way. My name's Meek. I got my co-host Wu. Wu, Red Sox Yankees. We live to fight another day. We'll see you game three.
Yeah, this is what playoff baseball is all about. I'm on the edge of my seat for all 9 innings, and it's very stressful.
I'm just saying you made it seem like earlier in the day that this was a foregone conclusion. Yankees were winning, but gave you a run for your money. Game
Yeah,
two.
game one, Crochet. If you
What a
steal,
beast.
if you take one off Crochet, it's a wrap. Like
What a
you have
beast.
no confidence. Bayo didn't even make it 4 innings. You got a 25-year-old throwing in game three tomorrow, win or go home. So to steal one
Baptism
off
by fire,
Crochet,
baby.
yeah. So
Baptism by fire.
listen, I could
What?
talk about this all night, but this isn't the baseball
This isn't it.
podcast.
No, this is the fantasy football podcast here we got for you. Just to top the show, we've officially hit 2,220 plus plays across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. That is thanks to the folks who are listening as you are on the Spotify and Apple Podcast, the folks who are watching as you are on YouTube. Thank you. We love you. Keep it going. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at Fourth and Fantasy Pod, Instagram and TikTok at Fourth and Fantasy, YouTube at Fourth and Fantasy. Make sure you give us a like, a follow on all of our socials, and leave a comment because you may see yourself on the show. No quick question for you today, Woo. We're going to go right into the news around the NFL and get you ready for Week 5. This episode today, we're gonna try something a little special, a little different. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to break this into two parts. Because we realized last time when we were given the previews that it was a longer episode, a little
A little
beefier.
long.
So we're gonna cut it into two parts, and then give you a little more palatable episode for you.
Yeah, I think it's
So
gonna work out nice.
yeah, absolutely. So all right, we're gonna go into news around the NFL. Tomorrow is the Thursday night game, and San Fran has no Brock Purdy, no Ricky Pearsall, no Juwan Jennings, on top of Robert Beal, defensive end, and Jordan Watkins just gone. So like, who else is there to
Mac
play?
Jones,
You know what
let's
I
go,
mean? Mac
baby.
Jones come save the day. I think I have one like super flex redraft league where it was like almost like a dynasty roster where you fill out your entire roster, and I picked up Mac Jones, and I've had to start him now more than once, which is like kind of unreal. But
Well, the
I'm
first
four.
game was awesome. The second game, not so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 4-0 in that league though. So hey, you
Clearly,
know what
it's
I mean.
working.
It's working. Um, let's see. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has the hamstring injury. He was injured during Sunday's game against Kansas City. He sat out of practice on Wednesday, taking things day by day. Um, you know, Obviously the sitting out of practice is not good. I know it's only a Wednesday though because they are the Sun. What are they? Sunday afternoon? No, Sunday at 1
Yeah,
game. So, I mean, it is just it's a Wednesday practice. I think a lot of teams give players rest Wednesday, so that one's not really alarming. It's the Thursday and then the Friday
yeah.
practices that you really need to pay attention to. And
I would even say just Thursday, just based off of the reaction of like when he actually got hurt in the game. They said like there was no shot he was going back in, so it
yeah,
wasn't like they were down big. Although they could have used that as a way, to get out
to
of
mask it kind of.
yeah, getting blown out by Kansas City. But for them to come out and say like even if there was just no way he was come back in, so I would say even if it just misses tomorrow. I don't know, just having one practice on Friday, maybe they get a walkthrough on Saturday. I don't know. I feel like you got to
Yeah,
be
it's
kind of
tough.
cautious with Lamar, like, with a guy like Lamar.
Well,
That's your whole season right there. But
absolutely.
you could also argue if they lose this week, season's over.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
If it isn't
Can,
already.
can you believe that they're 1-3? One and
No,
three,
not at
and
all.
they looked so good week one against Buffalo, and then you go back and then they lose that game, but like it's kind of crazy, like that they could potentially be 1-4 after this week. And the other thing too, like for Lamar and fantasy owners who have him, you also have to think they have a game this week, next week, then they go on the bye. So if I'm a Lamar manager, like I have him in Dynasty,
Hmm.
if he misses this game, I can pretty much guarantee you he will miss week 6, and then they go on the week 7 bye, and then you won't get Lamar until week 8.
Yeah.
Like he'll, if he's missing this game, he's out for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, something you have to be ready for.
Right. Baker Mayfield didn't practice on Wednesday. Like I said, that one, double check the practice report for Thursday just to
I feel like
see.
that one's more the giving him some rest there.
Yeah, I think so too. I would agree. This one came as a shocker. Cardinals running back Trey Benson, knee placed on injured reserve, out for at least 4 games. To be honest with you, Woo, I didn't even realize he got hurt in that game.
I had no idea.
Like,
Literally no idea.
because that was the Thursday night game last week, right? I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
And there was
So
nothing
like,
about it over the weekend.
I was gonna say there was absolutely nothing over the weekend, and now today on Wednesday we're like just hearing about, because it was even like this morning where it was like, okay, he's got a knee issue, he's up in the air to play, and then it was like a couple hours later, boom, he's on IR, and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, Jesus.
Happened fast. Way
So,
fast.
I mean, if are
Who's
you?
up
I
next?
was gonna say, I mean, it's Amari DiMarcado, but it's like, do you really even want to flirt with that? You know what I
I'm
mean?
starting him because I have to. Um,
Understood, right? If you
but yeah, it's like I'm not happy with. I mean, I'm tanking in that league anyways. It's a dynasty league. I'm not in a spot to compete, so it's not like I'm dying for wins here. But just based off of bias, he is somebody I have to put in the starting lineup. Curious to see how it goes. Who are they playing? They have
Tennessee.
Tennessee, so it's not a terrible matchup.
That was
Um,
it's a great matchup. I mean, as of right now, they're ranked 30th against running
well,
back.
there you
So
go.
like there could be potentially some juice there.
Yeah,
I think the other name to pay attention to is Michael Carter. He just got signed from the practice squad. So that may be another name to consider as well going into Sunday.
right. Yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely going to be DeMarcado. Get the primary touches. If you're going to start any of them, I would start him.
Hmm.
And with a good matchup, I think this could work out. I think it
Sure.
could be a good spot, spot start.
Yeah, I would agree. Um, This is a quick one. James Daniels is medically cleared to play, so we're definitely going to see him on
Huge.
Sunday after 2 weeks of him being out. And then this last one, kind of in the same vein as Trey Benson, but Bucky Irvin seen at practice in a walking boot and crutches.
This one sucks.
Last time I checked, Woo, if you're in a walking boot and crutches, are you probably playing on Sunday?
Probably not because I feel like you only need one or the other. So the fact that you needed two is kind of concerning.
Yep.
I again another guy I didn't see get hurt in that Philly game.
No, I didn't see it
So
at all.
I don't know. Or no, did they play Philly? Am I thinking of the wrong
No, it
week?
was Philly. You're right.
Okay, yeah. All the weeks are starting to mesh together now.
Right.
I'm all lost.
We're in
Now
the
bye
thick of
weeks
it
are
now.
starting. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh yeah, that's so. I mean, I've had a couple of like thoughts and theories on this one. It's like, so we're assuming Bucky misses. Who's the
Right.
guy to play?
It has to be Rashad White. I feel like they get.
Is it though? Because
How can he not be?
hear me out. What if they keep the status quo of what's going on? Rashad White, who's essentially been the receiving back, he stays where he is, and then Sean Tucker gets the early down work. Probably Rashad White gets a little more of, maybe some first and second down touches as well
I
as
hear
the
what you're
receiving
saying
work.
though.
But, they try to keep the status quo because, I mean, not for nothing. Sean Tucker had some juice towards the end of the season. Like he was, I mean, at least last year, like there were a couple of games where it was kind of eye opening. Well, let's see, it was he had a crazy game. Oh, week 6 against New Orleans, he was 14 for 36 and a touchdown. He had, and maybe that was it. Maybe I was thinking of more games that he had, but it really wasn't. But I don't know. Maybe he has enough juice to where you consider you know stashing him, seeing how it works. Maybe it's a multi-week, injury for
It very
Bucky
well
too.
could be if he's on crutches and in a boot.
Exactly. So, Sean Tucker could be a potential stash. Maybe he doesn't get enough run this week. Who's Tampa Bay playing this week to be
They have Seattle.
Seattle? So, I mean, Seattle's kind of I think that's a rough matchup for running backs if I'm not
I think you're right.
mistaken. Um, yeah, they're 13th, so not a slouch. And then next week they get San Fran, who's ranked 6th against running backs. So kind of a rough stretch for
Right.
Tampa Bay running backs. But yeah, I mean, if you need a running back, you might as well go out and get them.
That was it. Yeah, for sure. I like the stash idea though. Because I do think it's going to be mainly Rashad White, but you never know.
Yeah. All righty. So we're gonna like we said, we're gonna break this. We're gonna roll into our preview. We're gonna break this up. So this first part, we're gonna go into the Thursday night game coming up tomorrow, as well as our 1 o'clock games before, and then part two will be 4 o'clock and the rest of the games. But one thing I forgot to do, Will, is talk about the teams who are on bye, and I
Mm,
don't have all of them. I know
Chicago,
Chicago's a big
Pittsburgh.
one, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and there must be one other team that I can't think of. But so basically, if you're you know a Drake London, Bijan Robinson manager, you don't have
Packers.
the Packers. There it is. So no Love, no Josh Jacobs, no Tucker Kraft. Just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're listening to this podcast and playing fantasy football, you've probably checked your team over. But just in case you haven't, please make sure you get those players out of your lineup if they are on bye. So
Yes.
we're going to kick it off now. Thursday night game, we have the San Francisco 49ers rolling into town in LA playing the LA Rams. Rams are a 8.5 point favorite. Seems kind of big, but if you think about it, right, when we talked about it in the
Just
news,
name the whole offense that
the
isn't
whole
playing.
offense is gone. No Purdy, no Jennings, no Pearsall. Uh, the over under kind of is crazy though. The
Shocking.
fact that it's a 45.5 point over under.
It
I
is a great
mean,
under spot.
I was going to say it's a phenomenal under spot,
With an
but
8.5 point spread. That makes no sense to me.
um, so we'll start off with the San Francisco side. So no Purdy, right? So you're rocking Mac Jones. Obviously you're playing Christian McCaffrey because he's going to be their everything.
Hmm.
And then in
Do
the
you touch a
receiving,
single receiver? Because I
no,
don't think I do.
nope. You don't touch a single one. Maybe I guess in this situation, the only thing I would consider is if you were scarce at tight end, you mess with Jake
Hmm.
Tonjes.
Yep.
But other than that, it's like
Hope he
McCaffrey,
scores.
see you later.
Yeah, it's
Um,
McCaffrey, and we're gonna see if he can play quarterback as well as running
yes,
back at the same
can,
time.
can he do it all? Although he did, remember he played quarterback in the NFC Championship game when
Yeah, that
Purdy
was
tore his
brutal.
UCL. That was
Hmm.
awful. Um, and so then on the Ram side, right, like Kyron Williams, you're 100% playing. He had a down week last week, but the weeks prior to it, he had 14 points, 10 points, 19 points. So, that's good to see. Obviously, San Francisco's a tough team to run the ball against, but you play Kyron every single week. Um, I know we haven't had a chance to talk about it, Woo, because the games have started to stack up. But can we talk about Puka Nakua, like
The legend.
the legend
Oh my,
Puka
like
Nakua?
I'm looking at his game log right
It's
now.
insane.
It's absolute, and he scored one
One,
receiving touchdown. One receiving touchdown.
the fact
And
that like
I think I saw a stat. It was oh no, I think it was Roma Dunze, who's the wide receiver three. He is closer to I forget who it is, but
oh, I
they
saw
were
this.
ranked like 22nd or 24th
He's
wide receiver. He's closer to them than he's closer to Puka.
yeah, that like it's
It's
legendary.
ridiculous.
Uh, I
I,
just
I don't even know what to say. Like it's
You book him for at least double digit targets every single game, and
oh
he
my
probably
yeah,
has double digit catches. I get
easily.
like that. That's the thing, right? Is like he gets you 10 catches, but like in those 10 catches, he's being super productive. Like it's not like a Wandale Robinson situation where he gets
Yes.
you 10 for 43,
Right.
right? 14 points is still great, but like he's giving you 10 for 130. 8 for 91, 11 for 112, 13 for 170 last week. Like, oh my God.
And to think he was an 11th round keeper in our final
Yes.
league.
Yep.
11th round
An
keeper.
11th round keeper is
Like,
insane.
listen, you went on a crazy run with Justin Jefferson, but I think this is now the best keeper we've ever
It
had.
is. I as someone who once had it, it 100% is. But you got to come through with the championships in order for
Crazy.
it to matter.
This is
But
true.
um, Devontae Adams, you play. This is where all of these touchdowns are going. Devontae Adams has scored in 3 out of the 4 weeks
Yep.
that he's had.
Touchdown machine.
You know what I mean? So you probably could book him for a touchdown.
And not
Um,
only is he taken away from Puka, but he's taken away from Kyron Williams
yes.
because
Well,
Kyron is getting all the touches that he normally does. Or Kyron scored twice, but one was through the air. It's just he's a running back 19 on the year, and it feels like something's wrong, but there's nothing wrong. Like he's still getting all the opportunities. He's just not scoring as frequently as he used to, and I think we
yeah.
all got super used to that.
Well, and the other thing that's, I mean, we're so used to him having like 90, 88 to 90% of the snaps now. And I think they're
Yeah,
starting to work in Blake Corum because,
they are. Yep,
obviously week one, he only had 17% of the snaps, but then two through four, it's 30, 24, 29. So, he's getting way more involved than he did last year.
big time.
Um, so he got winning this one.
I got LA, and I think they cover as well.
Yeah, LA.
I don't know how San Fran can keep up with this offense. I
I,
really don't.
I don't know either. This game could get ugly quickly
Yeah,
for San Fran.
this might
So
be a watch till halftime and watch the highlights in the
check out.
morning.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the 1 o'clock games. Our first 1 o'clock game we have is Minnesota. This
No,
one's oh
this
no,
is a
Sunday
London
morning.
game.
Yes, this is the other London game. I totally forgot about that.
This
So,
is another great under spot.
which is this is also crazy that Minnesota has stayed out in the UK now for the past two
Did they
weeks.
end up staying?
Yeah, they never
Okay.
they never came back to
I mean, it
Minnesota
makes sense. I just
because they
wasn't sure if they would do that.
they played that game in Ireland and then just shipped on over to London and hung out there. But
It's
they're
brutal.
the away team playing against Cleveland. The sportsbook line has Minnesota minus 4.5 point favorites over under a gross 36.5. I don't think the sportsbooks are believers in Carson Wentz and now
Dylan
Dylan
Gabriel.
Gabriel. So yeah, like listen, we're giving London the best we have to offer here.
Yeah, this
Dylan Gabriel
is
versus
yeah,
Carson
you
Wentz.
yeah,
Like
you want to expand the NFL, these are the guys you want out in
these
that
are the
field.
guys you want, right?
Oh my God.
So obviously you're playing neither of those.
No. Nope.
We have Jordan Mason, who you're 100% playing. However,
It's gonna be tough sledding.
Cleveland's rush defense is for real. Like
They got to be ranked number one, right? You got those
I
rankings.
I have those rankings. I can find it for
I'd be
you.
shocked if they're
Yes.
not one. Yeah.
Nope, they're one
I
easily.
wouldn't even know who else to put at one.
I I'll tell you who number two is really quickly if I can find them. It is actually I can't even find them. Three's the Rams. So
Okay.
there you go. I don't know who two is. But anyways, so I guess you're totally playing Mason out of necessity. You know what I mean? Because you
It's a
need him,
volume play, yeah.
right? And it's the volume play. Hopefully they get close to the goal line and he can score a touchdown. Receiving options. I will say, first game back, Jordan Addison had 114 yards receiving
Two big
and
games for
eight
Jefferson and Addison there.
and eight targets, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Jefferson had 10 for 126. Like
Basically burying Hawkinson, and it's
oh yeah,
bad luck.
you hate to see
He
that
might
move, huh?
I can talk about it in a second, but it's he I would say he's droppable.
Yes. So I mean, are you willing to play? Uh, Obviously Jefferson you have to play, but do you play Addison here? Cleveland's ranked 14th against wide receivers, so it's not like basically middle of the road situation here. Do you trust Carson Wentz to give Jordan Addison enough work like he did last week?
Listen, eight targets is huge. First came back, but didn't he have a very, very long reception? I know he had
Yes.
114 yards on the day, so
Let me see if I can pull up what that long was.
it had to be. It was over 60, right? Yeah, 81. So
Yeah,
you
81-yard reception.
so aside from that 81-yard catch, he had three catches for 33 yards.
Correct.
So like I I I want to say they're going to keep ramping him up and obviously rest of the year. I like starting Addison. However, with this matchup, it just makes it very difficult for me, especially looking at the point total. Vegas is expecting this to be a low scoring game. It's in London. We have the famous term of Lunders, unders in London. That's kind of
Mm,
how we see these games pan out.
definitely.
Dylan Gabriel starting. Brian Flores is going to be throwing a ton of blitzes at Dylan Gabriel, confuse the hell out of this young guy. I think this game's just going to get really ugly, really sloppy, and it makes starting Addison really tough for me, and I think I would sit this one out.
Okay. I respect that decision. I think, you know, it might not be a good situation right now, but I think when I mean they have this game, then they go into the bye next week. So maybe that's enough time to really ramp them up,
Hmm.
but coming out of the bye, it's a gauntlet. They play Philly, who's ranked two against wide receivers, and they play the Chargers the following week, who are ranked one against wide receivers. So
Yeah.
it could be hopefully McCarthy's back, and then there's enough to like he can support the two of them. But we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Right.
So then for the Cleveland side, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's
Judkins.
you play Judkins and that's it. Who,
That's it.
which by the
That's
way,
all it.
like, can we just say that he probably is the second best looking rookie running back right now? I mean, obviously, Genty and Hampton had a good week, but
He's
before
pushing
that,
5 yards carry.
I was gonna say like he didn't play week one, obviously, but then started week two, played Baltimore, who's Baltimore's a great rush defense, 10 for 61, 6.1 yards a carry. Then Green Bay goes 94 and a touchdown, and then last week against Detroit he goes 82 and a touchdown. It's like
Yeah.
he's right now the running back 24.
And he is getting all the work.
He's getting all, and that's what we talked about, right? In the offseason. Like, it had this whole legal situation never happen, I think Judkins is like an easy top 12 running back.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my God. And he's getting drafted in like the fourth round.
yeah, yeah, like it would have been such an easy smash. And man, like I wish this was all sorted out prior to the draft season, because I think a lot of people would have been in on Quinshon Judkins.
Oh,
Obviously,
big time.
if you took the chance on him and like you only lost him for a week,
Smash.
like
I didn't have the stones. I
play the
couldn't do
lotto.
that. Mentally, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I couldn't either. And now it looks like he's not going to face any suspension, and
Yep.
he's just fire him up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Um, and receiving options, I mean, I'm not willing to play Judy, or I mean,
Not at
we
all.
didn't talk about this, but Tillman's out for, I believe Tillman's on IR. But I think it's a hamstring injury. I don't know for sure, but Judy has not looked good. You know what I mean? Had. He had 9 targets last week, but 3 for 48. The week before was 1 for 7. The week before that, 451. Like, and you're throwing in a rookie quarterback. No, thank you. I'm out.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be gross. So
Yeah.
gross.
Um, do you play Harold Fanning? Maybe. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if I want to play a single pass catcher against dealing. Like I just think Brian Flores is gonna eat this guy alive.
true.
Like I just think he's gonna have no chance.
Only thing I'm curious about is what does tennis or Minnesota's 11th against tight ends. So yeah, it's not like there's an advantage even there
Yeah.
too. So it's a wait and see approach.
Yeah.
Why don't you who you got winning this game though?
I'm gonna take Minnesota.
Yeah,
I just, it really it boils down to Brian Flores and just beating the hell out of Dylan Gabriel. I don't see him having a chance. And we see this all the time with defenses get really aggressive against rookie quarterbacks. I can think of one game that comes to mind immediately. It's, I believe it was Thursday Night Football, Jets Patriots, Sam Darnold seeing ghosts
no,
game
that's where the ghosts
on
happen.
Halloween. It was just blitz, 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 blitz. So it's things like that that I think about. And for Dylan Gabriel, third round pick, it's not like he is, one of these top drafted guys, and they want to, they had a veteran who could, take a couple games that way he could get used to the league. Like this is a third round pick.
Yeah.
Not to, come down heavy on Dylan Gabriel, but it's not like he was this highly touted prospect and now he's finally getting a chance. Like this is like kind of out of necessity because of how bad Joe Flacco looked.
I don't disagree with you, but I think we also cannot count out how good the Cleveland defense has been as well.
Fair.
And Carson Wentz looked horrendous, last
We
week
call some
against,
chaos.
you know what I mean? Like he played, they let Pittsburgh kind of hang around in that game. Like they had multiple chances to like really put them away. And, Wentz either was a bad throw, taking a bad sack. Like I could see, in the Steelers defense isn't, world beaters. They let the Jets hang up what 32 points in week
Yeah.
one on them.
Hmm.
So it's like, I think Cleveland's defense is going to make Wentz pay on some of these mistakes here. And I'm not saying that, Gabriel's going to light the world on fire. I think he's just going to game manage this game, and it's going to be like a 9-3 rock fight kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. And this is the defense to do that with. So I hear that take.
Yeah. Um, Also, just like before we wrap up, is it kind of crazy to you that Cleveland decided to start one of their rookie quarterbacks on an international game, like wouldn't you want to do that like when
At
you're
home in a
home
comfortable
or
spot.
like or you're stateside, you know what I mean? Like it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we're going across the country and your first start's going to be in London. Like that's kind of a wild thing to do to your rookie third round quarterback.
Maybe they're doing it because they just want to get the Gabriel story out of here and they want to get Shador out there.
Oh my God,
Galaxy brain.
did you see the interview he had today?
Yeah, but apparently that was in response to Rex Ryan, but it was also a hilarious clip.
I just
Oh, it was
he is
awesome.
a
I loved it.
he's a
He's
show.
prime.
He's a show.
He's prime.
All right, we're gonna move into the next one. The New York Football Giants take on the New Orleans Saints. Sportsbook line have the Saints actually minus 1.5 point
They didn't
home
like a
favorites.
day ago.
Why it was the
The Giants were
Giants?
2.5 point favorites,
Interesting.
and it
I
moved
wonder. I
all
wonder
this way.
what the big switch was.
I don't know.
Line is or the over under. I'm sorry, is 42.5 here in this game. Um, I mean, hey, Dar had a great game against the Chargers last week. I think it it was the one thing I was always worried about. You know, I talked about it was there was no tape on him
Hmm.
for anyone to really game plan, and I think New Orleans kind of sees that full week of tape for Dart, and now you can really game plan on him. Do you start Dart here if you needed a quarterback play?
Yeah, I have Jordan Love on bye this week in the league, and Jackson Dart was the name I wanted to go to. I didn't realize he'd already been picked up a week ago,
Oh
so that
yeah.
kind of stunk. But I love the matchup. He had 10 rushing attempts last week for 54 yards and a touchdown. I was really hoping this would be the week. This is a great matchup for it to really let him, kind of cut loose and let him show off that flashy arm. Of
Mm,
course, now he doesn't have a guy like Neighbors to throw the ball to. I still want him to be able to do that. I think they can get away with Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton when it comes to playing against the Saints. So I do think Dart is startable based off of the matchup. It's just annoying that Neighbors isn't going to be there.
yeah. Tyrone Tracy with the injury, right? He's on IR, so the Cam
Scat
Scattaboo
show.
show
Yep.
was not as efficient. I mean, listen, did well though against the Chargers. Who's a really good rush defense, had 79 yards rushing. I
25
I
attempts.
thought, did he not have a touchdown? Am I misremembering this?
No, Dart had the rushing touchdown. There was the touchdown of Theo Johnson, and I believe that was it.
I thought for sure Scattaboo had one, or maybe I'm thinking of the week before against Kansas City. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
he
thinking
definitely
of.
scored against Kansas City.
Yeah. So I mean, not as efficient as the week prior, but here we're talking about New Orleans, who is ranked, if I can find it, 18 against the run against running backs. So, the plus matchup there for Scattaboo, but you definitely play him because he gives you
Yes.
both in the rushing and the passing. So, and that might be a good thing to point out. Well, with neighbors being gone, maybe Scattaboo sees a lot more in the passing game.
100%.
The week we played Kansas City, he had 8 targets for 6 receptions, 61 yards. I know that was Russell Wilson, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe Dart, starts to turn to him a little bit more in the passing game,
100%. I don't think he really has a choice but to.
right? Um, you play Wandale here?
I think he can.
Yeah.
I do think he can. Again, it's based off of the matchup. I
I
just
feel
think
like I'm I feel
this
like
game
I'm
could
a,
be
I'm
really
a
weird and
wait and
funky.
see. I don't know. Like Wandale was also the guy last year where he was just not efficient with any like would you believe me when I tell you that Wandale Robinson had 140 targets last year?
Yeah.
140
Whole lot of
and
screens.
turned it into 93 for not even 700 yards, 699. So it's like for me personally, I think maybe it's because I've had him for so long on my dynasty team, but it's like I feel it I'm gonna wait and see how they use him in this offense before I start to play him and say, I'm gonna roll Wandale out.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Dart start ripping the ball, and start letting it loose. He only threw the ball 20 times last week.
Yeah.
I know what they were doing and running the ball was working in that Chargers game. And when it got late, they were playing a little bit tight, trying to play a little conservative, hold on to the ball. But I think this is a game where Dart can kind of let it fly and they can kind of, you know, lengthen out that leash a little bit. So I think Wandale is an interesting start. It's not someone I'm like dying to get into one of my
Sure.
rosters. But with the bye weeks coming up, I feel like there can be some sort of comfortability, if I do need to start them.
Yeah. Yeah. On the New Orleans side, you don't touch Spencer Rattler with a 10-foot pole.
Nope.
Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
he's what's the temperature check here on Alvin Kamara? He's the running back 26 right now. Last week was 15 for 70. He got in the end zone week one, has yet to get in the end zone again. And then the other thing I just want to point out too is Kendrick Miller starting to get some run a
Yeah.
little bit, and he's
Yeah.
actually looking good. Last week he was 11 for 65 for in the touchdown. So, like, what's the temperature check right here for Kamara?
Yeah, it's you wonder if that age 30 mark is starting to catch up to him, just but hasn't really had like he's getting the opportunities, he's still getting targets. He's such a massive part of this offense, but because the Saints offense as a whole is so pathetic, defense is kind of key in on him. So yes, he's still getting all these opportunities, but it's just there's nowhere for him to, to go with the ball once he gets it in his hands.
Right.
So it makes it difficult from an efficiency standpoint based off of the opportunities he's getting. You still have to start him. I was somebody who took him in a couple startup um, dynasty drafts over the summer, thinking, mid-season I could probably trade him for a first. I think I'd be lucky if I could get a second for him right
Right
now.
now, yeah.
And it's kind of blowing up in my face. So I need him to have a really big week. And I
Absolutely.
don't think this is the spot where he does it.
No, yeah, I think it's going to be tough, especially with this Giants front seven that is just a
Mean.
monstrous,
Ugh.
mean like front seven. It's nuts. Um, but Chris Olave here, last 3 weeks. I know last week was not good, but he had
Threw an
13.
interception.
He threw an interception.
Yeah.
Did I miss this?
At one point, I had started him in a league. I had -1 points from him because he had one pass attempt and it was an interception.
Oh, that's right. In the Buffalo game, I
Hmm.
remember this now.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of targets. Obviously, did not have a lot in the Buffalo game, but like outside of him and like maybe Jawan Johnson, it's like who else you got there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
Um,
has a solid floor just based off how many targets he's getting. But if I'm starting him, I'm just like dying that he catches 50% of those balls.
right? Like I don't know. So I mean, obviously,
His
I
catch
think
rate is basically 50%.
yeah. I mean,
He had
he
he
is
had one game where he was well over 50%.
right. He is right now the wide receiver 25. So he's technically like a wide receiver three for your team.
Hmm.
And so you play that, and hopefully things work out.
Yeah,
Um, all right, that's it. Who do you got winning this game, Will?
I got the G-men. I think they get a little win streak going here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
I'm
drinking
gonna
the Kool-Aid. I love Dart.
I think I'm gonna go with the Saints here.
Ah,
My whole thing is I think it's the no one had tape on Dart, and now New Orleans was able to get a full week of tape. you know Obviously this is me putting faith in Brendan Staley, the defensive coordinator for the Saints, but I think there's enough there to where you can bottle Dart up. The injury to Neighbors is also a huge loss for them. So it's the struggle of who do you go to as your go-to guy in that situation, and I think that might kind of be the difference maker for them in this matchup.
yeah, it's valid. Also, I didn't know Brandon Staley was Saints defensive coordinators. They just have all the
Yeah.
old Chargers coordinators
Yes, they
and
do. Well, it's
coaches.
actually crazy because Moore's the coach, so it's like a flip flop. Like that must be such a weird feeling to be
Oh
the
my
head
God.
coach, and the your coordinator is now your head coach, like basically
Hmm.
telling you what to do. Like that's a wild situation.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the Vegas Raiders. 1-3 Vegas Raiders taking on the 3-1 Indianapolis Colts. Sportsbook line has Indy -7 as touchdown home favorites over under 47.5 here. Um, do you really think Indy's a touchdown favorite here?
No, I thought that line's crazy. Yeah, Vegas hasn't looked great. I think it's based off of how good Indiana's defense has been. and how bad Vegas's offensive line has been. I
I
do think
know.
7 is a lot, though. I think
I was gonna say,
it's got to be
especially
more of like a 4.5, 5.5 kind of game for
that,
me.
but the Raiders defense, like I've watched them now, like last week against Chicago and the week before against the Chargers. Like I'm gonna say it, like Max Crosby needs to be in the conversation for defensive player of the year. Like
Oh yeah,
that dude is everywhere,
game wrecker.
wrecking the game, and that's my only uh piece to why it should not even be set a full touchdown favorite,
Yeah,
is because of Max Crosby in that defense. But obviously we got to talk about the offensive side here for the Raiders. Geno Smith, if you're in a super flex league like I am, you have to play Geno Smith.
yep,
He's got great weapons, but obviously there's no other situation.
right.
Ashton Genty had a absolute coming out party last week, right?
And
21.
did you see they let him stand up behind the before he
Yes.
snaps the ball like he did in college? Do you think
It's
that
kind of,
actually like how does that just slight movement does that actually matter?
I
Like
think
I don't.
it's comfortability. Like
Yeah,
he is so used to doing that, and just feeling comfortable on the football field. And it's like, honestly, when you think about it, it's like, why you drafted this guy 6 overall? Why change any facet of his game? You
right.
know what I mean? Like you should just be there to mentor and guide him, as opposed to like changing fundamental aspects of him. Like there's no reason. Like I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent,
No, I
and what
completely agree.
so uh he had this coming out party, like, and the crazy thing is too, is like he only had 2 catches and 2 targets, and they were both touchdown catches in the receiving game. So it's like, hey, maybe we want to take Zamir White off the field, or
Yeah,
take Dylan
seriously.
Lobby off the field, and let's work Ashton Genty in here. But I mean, I don't know what Indy's rate or ranking against running backs are. They're 11th. I still think Ashton Genty could have a monstrous week.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Um, Receiving, obviously you play, I would play Jacoby Myers. Like
Yep.
he's played,
PPR God.
yep, 95 or 98+% of snaps. If Gino has a good week, he gets a lot of targets. Not flirting with Trey Tucker or Dante Thornton. And obviously you
Brock
play,
Bowers
you,
got
you
to wake up.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he is injured, you know what I mean? Like, and that definitely, like, it's a PCL, so just the fact that he's out there is great, but it is tough to, you're the number one tight end, you know what I mean? In most formats is
Hmm.
out here struggling. He's the tight end
Right.
9,
Yeah.
you know. But hey,
Needs to turn around. Hopefully he's getting healthy soon. But I just he was limited at practice today. Dealing with that knee. It's just, where he was being drafted. I saw him in the first round, second round, end of the second round. I personally got him at the end of the second round. So it's just taking a guy that high, at a premium position like, tight end where, you're only starting one of them every week.
mhm.
You're supposed to be having a positional advantage, and it just hasn't felt like that. Miraculous, he's still the tight end 9.
Do you hear me out? Galaxy brain idea here, right? So they play Indy this week, next week's Tennessee, then they have Kansas City, then they have the bye. Do you wait? Because I'm assuming it's not going to probably look great, but do you try to trade for Brock Bowers? You know what I mean, before the bye, suck it up, don't get him for a week, and then he has that like full week of rest, and
Yeah.
then goes against and goes the rest of the season, like, because anyone who has Brock Bowers right now is probably panicking right now, the fact that he's not the tight end 1. Am I right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I am. I am. It was a 10-man league. I purposely went quarterback tight end early, and of course it was Lamar. So
Oh
I'm be missing it.
no.
Yeah. Thankfully I start off week 4, so I'm 8-0, so it's okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's tough. The only thing I'll say about waiting until the bye week is like when you have a talent like Brock Bowers, he could go off for 25 points this week, and then that's completely out the window. So I think
It's
if you
very
are going to
true.
do it for Bowers, do it like ASAP because this is the cheapest he's ever going to be.
Right. Going to the indie side, right? Daniel Jones, who sneakily is the quarterback 7 right now, had a little bit of a down week, only scored 9 points. It has been double digit the past 3 weeks. I think it's going to be rough again going against the Raiders here, right? Like, we talked about the front 7 and Max Crosby, but I think he's I would rather, if I'm in a super flex, I'd rather play Daniel Jones over Geno Smith. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? If I'm being honest.
Yep.
Um, so there's that. Uh, Jonathan Taylor, you play him, right?
He's
Jonathan
looked so
Taylor,
good.
the running back 3 right now, and I'm looking at his stat line right now. He has three touchdowns on the year, all week 3 against Tennessee. He has not
Insane.
scored or I mean, I guess he had a receiving touchdown against Denver, but
Over 5 yards a carry. He's dominating the backfield. A couple games over 100 yards. One of them over 150. They're starting to work him in the receiving game as well. He had 5 targets, 5 catches last week, so that's huge. It's just this is the Jonathan Taylor that we all remember from that
yeah,
running back
I
one
was gonna say
season.
he's looking like 2021 Jonathan Taylor, where he was the running back 1.
Hmm.
Um, Receiving options for Indy, Michael Pittman, the wide receiver 13 right now. I
Wow.
don't think a lot of people are realizing the year that Michael Pittman's putting together.
He
You
scored
know,
in all but 1 week.
yep, yeah, and he's getting the targets, right. 8 targets, 5, 6, and then 10 targets last week against the Rams. Like if you know Jones is going to sit back in the pocket and not take off, I think it seems like Pittman is the guy right now over Downs,
Oh yeah,
right?
big time,
You
big
know,
time.
so Pittman is definitely an option. I'm willing to play him. Probably not Downs.
No.
And then obviously play my guy Tyler Warren here, right? The tight end
Another.
4 right
Yep.
now.
He's looked really solid.
Tight end 4. Woo, can we just talk about preseason when you were, or even draft season when
Hmm.
you were scared and you were
Yeah.
like, you
This
couldn't
is
buy into it.
this is the exact outcome I had to be prepared for. And that's the beauty of fantasy football.
It is.
But yeah, no, tip of the cap to you, being willing to double down on that and get him in leagues. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't comfortable doing it. To be fair though, I didn't expect the Colts to be 3-1.
I also
Uh,
didn't either. So
so
I
that's
won't
one
say I
thing.
sat here.
Yeah, but no, it was the right call. He's a primary target in this offense, and Daniel Jones has looked really good.
Yeah. Who do you got winning this matchup?
I'm gonna take Indy. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't know if the cover. I don't know if I'm willing to say that, but
No,
at home,
I don't think Indy's going to cover either. If I'm a bet man, I'm totally taking the Raiders +7, but I think Indy's still good enough to squeak this one out and win the week, and they'll be 4-1 going into week 5, which
I was
is
just gonna say if they end up
kind of
four and
nuts.
one, you got to seriously like obviously they have one of the better records. Only one loss, but it's only been 4 weeks. But I think if they can win this game, be 4-1, heading into who do they play next? Oh, what just happened here?
Um,
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you have to seriously consider them as a good playoff team.
oh, I would agree. They're playing Arizona next week,
Yeah,
so
another very winnable game.
another winnable game as well. All right. Next game we have here is the Denver Broncos taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Broncos are 2-2. Philly is 4-0. Sportsbook line has Philly 3.5 point home favorites. Over under is 43.5 here. Um, we saw a good week from Jalen Hurts last week. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. LA against the Rams, he had a really good week. Tampa, uh, you know,
It
struggled
was
a
a
little bit.
solid game.
Well, yeah, we'll say it is a solid game. Is the quarterback 5 on the week, right? I mean, a quarterback 5 on the year. Uh, you play Saquon, and then it's the question of the receiving options here. Do you play AJ Brown? Do you
Are
play
you?
Devontae Smith? Yeah, I was gonna say I have to.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Can
I think that's the
can
right
I
answer.
can I be honest with you, Will?
Yeah,
Full transparency. I don't know if other people
trust
in the
tree.
league,
This is trust tree here.
I have been trying to ship out AJ Brown
I knew it.
to everybody, and
Hmm.
nobody wants him. Not a single soul wants him,
It's a
and
really tough spot because
I
you
know.
think you can sell the name, but I
No,
mean,
and you can't.
yeah,
Like if you're
it's been
successful
that
right now
bad.
in trading AJ Brown, please tell me how you're doing it, because I can't. Nobody
Yeah.
wants him.
And I
Like
thought Tampa Bay would be another great spot for him. I mean, he had 9 targets, but to only have 2 catches
I
for
know.
7 yards, how does
And
that
then
happen?
and then he did you see what he put on social media after
Oh no.
I can't. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. But basically, he was saying something along the lines of like it was a Bible verse. Um, let's see, can we find it? Yes, it says, "If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw. Don't make a scene. Shrug your shoulders and be on your way."
Yikes. That's not good.
It's not great. And
The optics of that is awful.
I fully regret taking him in our Bonnet League draft, but I'm stuck with him, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm absolutely stuck with him.
I don't know how you can get out of it. I thought
Yeah,
maybe you'd be able to maybe sell high off that Rams game, or at least sell in like break even just because of the weeks,
I know.
leading up to that. But God.
I think I'm just stuck with him for the year. I mean, unless someone miraculously comes through, like behind the curtain, I'll even tell you. I even tried to trade AJ Brown for Rashi Rice, who's not even playing. He's not even
Wow.
playing, and Paradise didn't want to take that deal. So like,
Wow.
yeah, it's tough. But anyways, so I mean, listen, you're stuck. AJ Brown was probably your first or second round pick, so you have to play him. It's not going to be great. It's not anything. I'm trying to see what oh, it's Denver. I don't even need to look it up. Like he's gonna get the pass for tan treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna be sad. So
Yeah.
whatever, move on. I mean, and
Devontae
then
Smith, man, I don't have him because I wasn't in on him this year. I don't have him
mhm.
in any spots, but I is that a bench spot? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
It
if
all feels bad in Philly passing the ball. Yes, they're winning their games, but fantasy wise for pass catchers, it's been their one good game came off that
he had
LA
two
game because they
targets
were
last
down
week.
bad.
91% of snaps and two targets. Like
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
that's like almost like all cardio team right there.
Oh, 100%. Him and AJ Brown.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't play him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you have another option to play. Let me see. Let me throw out some names here for you,
Devontae
Lou.
Smith or Wan'Dale Robinson.
Good
Yeah,
God.
I think I go Wan'Dale. I think I go Wan'Dale.
I guess, yeah, because he's gonna get absolutely gonna get more targets. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess so. Yeah, Wandale. Do you go Devontae Smith or Jordan Addison against Cleveland?
Mm, I think I go Addison.
Do you go? This one sucks so bad. Do you go Devontae Smith or T Higgins
Oh
playing Detroit?
Christ. Oh God.
That one is so bad.
Is there can I plead the fifth?
Yeah, yeah, because I'll plead the fifth with you too. I don't want to answer that
I would
one.
go Devontae Smith just based off the better quarterback, but it's
Yeah,
gross.
yeah. All right. So then on the Denver side, uh, Bo Nix, thanks for waking up here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
We all touted you out all preseason, and the first 4 weeks were
Mm-hmm.
rough. But if there's a slump buster, it's going to be the Cincinnati
Yeah.
Bengals. Am I
Ain't that
right?
right? Yo, big time. Three total
um,
touchdowns. That's huge. Nice bounce back week.
yeah. I mean, this week is probably going to
It
be
doesn't get easier.
a struggle. It definitely doesn't get easier when you're playing the reigning Super Bowl champs. Trying to see what they are ranked against quarterbacks. Am I missing it? Oh, they're ranked 3. So rough week. I
They're
mean,
probably up there in all the stats.
yeah. Let's play the game with Bo Nix. Do you play CJ Stroud against Baltimore or Bo
Mm.
Nix?
Bo Nix.
Do you play Matthew Stafford Thursday night against San Fran or Bo Nix?
Stafford.
Do you play Dart against New Orleans or Bo Nix?
Ooh. I'll go Dart. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't care. I'm
All
going
right.
Dart. I'm going Dart.
He's staying loyal to the Dart.
Have to.
All right, all right. J.K. Dobbins, had 100 yards rushing for the first time last week against Cincinnati.
I think I saw that was something like that was Sean Payton's like first 100-yard rusher in Denver or something crazy like that.
oh, that's awful. That's
Yeah.
even awful to say.
I didn't even believe it.
I mean, again, Cincinnati will do that for you though.
Mm-hmm.
Are you concerned though? Last week Dobbins had 44% of the snaps, and then RJ Harvey had 41% of the snaps.
Kind of
Looked
annoying.
14 carries, 58 yards. I mean, he didn't score, but he is getting carries.
I think we're getting close to that time. And as a J.K. Dobbins manager, I think I need to
So,
sell
can
because I
I
think it's getting to that
can
time.
I tell you? Can I tell you a deal I made in a different league?
Yeah.
I traded J.K. Dobbins today.
Mm-hmm.
Traded him for Jalen Waddle,
Oh, okay.
which was interesting. I
I
didn't think
like
the
that.
manager was going to take it, but
Yeah,
calling my shot on Jalen Waddle. Hopefully
I
he
like it.
steps in and becomes that, number one wide receiver now with Tyreek Hill being out. So,
Right.
I took my chance. And then receiving options for Denver. Cortland Sutton, you play him. He's the wide receiver 12 on the year right now. He's
100%.
always on the field. Um, uh,
Number one target.
right. And then I think everyone else I'm not willing to play.
No,
Troy
especially
Franklin.
not against Philly.
No, Troy Franklin is someone I would totally tell you to keep your eye out for. He did have 8 targets last week, and he is getting targets. Like that's the thing. I want to say, hold on one second. Let me just vet this out right now. So Cortland Sutton has 27 targets on the year. You want to guess how many targets Troy Franklin has?
It's got to be more. I'm gonna say 35.
Trick question. It is the same. They both have the same amount of targets.
Okay.
So, I mean, the fact that Franklin's getting the same amount of targets as Sutton right now tells you that like they're trying to get him involved, and it's just
Right.
only a matter of time. So, I would keep my eye out for him.
Yeah.
And then Evan Ingram's a bum. Don't even worry about him.
So bad.
Just let him rot on your bench, or
So
you,
bad.
you, you
Drop.
probably drop him. Drop
Yeah.
him. You know what I
Drop him with
mean?
Hawkinson.
Absolutely. Who you got winning this one?
It's Philly. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if Philly loses the game this year. To be honest,
that's so
everything is
insane.
going their way.
Yep, I got Philly here too in this one. All right, next one. Are you
Game of the
are you,
week.
are you ready for this one?
No, I'm not.
All right. Well, we still got to
This
go
is gonna.
through
This
it
is gonna be a
anyways.
sad preview.
It is a sad preview. The 1-2-1 Dallas Cowboys take on the 0-4 New York Jets.
We should tie again.
Sportsbook, yeah, it should be. Sportsbook line has Dallas as 2.5 point road favorites. Over under is still 47.5 here. So,
What is
you
Dallas gonna
know,
score 40?
I don't know. I mean, listen, we'll start with the Jet side. And why don't we do that? Justin Fields, welcome back. Was had a phenomenal week actually. 27 for 20, 226 and a touchdown, and then had a great rushing touchdowns. He was 7 for 81.
It was
So,
an awesome run, and I couldn't even celebrate it. I'm so desensitized. I was
yep.
like, wow, that was cool.
But he's back, and I guess that week kind of ensures you that he's healthy, and it's kind of all systems go. And you're playing Dallas, who is ranked 32nd against quarterbacks, so it's like if I have Fields, I'm starting him and
Yeah,
with confidence. It's
he's great for fantasy.
Yeah, he's great for
Great for
fantasy.
fantasy.
Brees Hall, will actually roll it back. Braylon Allen went down. Do we know what happened with Braylon Allen? What it is or what's going on?
Let me see if anything came out. Let's
I know it
see.
was the knee and it was on
They're
the
saying
kick return. Eh,
MCL sprain, but nothing's been confirmed yet. But he's
Okay.
probably gonna go on IR. I mean, the guy took the crown of a helmet right to his knee, which I don't.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know how that's legal.
I don't know how that
Listen,
wasn't a
the
penalty.
Jets lost that game. I'm not gonna sit here and complain about the officials and blowing that game, but oh my God, some of the worst missed calls I've ever seen in my life. Justin Fields slides, he gets hit late, no flag. Joe Tippmann is there was a holding call on the Jets, but then simultaneously Joe Tippmann is getting his helmet ripped off.
Oh, I
The
remember seeing this play. Yep.
clearest hands to the face penalty ever, and it's not a wash. They just give the penalty to the Jets. I mean, the offensive pass interference on Garrett Wilson, don't get me started. And there was a couple ticky tack holding ones. I was like, really, what are we talking about? Jeremy Rucker got crushed like 5 seconds after going to the ground. It was just stuff like that. It was can't.
The league just doesn't want to see the Jets in the
No,
forefront. Is what
no.
what this is. They're suppressing the Jets.
It's clear that if you're good, you get good calls, and if you're bad, you get bad calls.
Yeah, I mean, so back to Brees Hall, right? He had a good game. Had 14 carries for 81 yards and
Still
was
his backfield.
five catches for 30. So got his way to 16 points last week, and I think you start to see this trend go up for Brees Hall. And I think Dallas is one of those defenses that you just want to target, and they're ranked, 32 against quarterbacks, 28 against running backs, wide receiver they're 32. So it's like
You have to start him.
you have to start them, you know what I mean, and you have to take advantage of the matchup, which rolls right into Garrett Wilson. You play him, no questions
Such a
asked.
stud. Such a stud. I
Wide receiver five right now. You know what I mean. So it's what else is there to say about G5?
thank God they locked him up because he requested a trade 2 weeks ago.
I wish he
Thank
was
God they
gone.
locked him up.
Are you? Is part of you though also like
We're wasting his
sad?
career. Yes.
You're him and Brees Hall though
Hmm.
too.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just
This
uh
is not new, unfortunately. We waste a lot of people's careers,
it's
and it's
common Jets L right here.
but it's like then he does those contested catches, and it's just like how because he's not like that big of a guy. He
Hmm.
really isn't. I mean, he's 6 foot 183. Like he's got some height, but he's thin. He's not like a big target like Malik Neighbors. But
No,
man,
he
he's
just
so good.
dominates.
He's
He
so
just
good. There's
dominates.
nothing else for me to say, but he's so good. I
Yeah.
love him. He's the best.
Uh, all right. Down now to talk Dallas Cowboys situation here.
You
Um,
hammer every single offensive player on this team. You start Dak, you start Javonte Williams, George Pickens is gonna have 200 yards. Jake
I mean,
Ferguson. I'm not even trying to be like hyperbolic here. Like this is the Jets are like this is a historically bad defense. Historically bad. They
historically bad
cannot
defense,
tackle.
but only ranked 16 for against quarterbacks. Or is this quarterbacks? Yeah, 16 against quarterbacks. They rank
I think this is a stats are
eight.
for nerds.
I was gonna say, I mean, they have decent stats though. Eight against running backs, and then wide receivers they are ranked 15. So it's
That's
like
impossible. This is
I'm
impossible.
I'm just saying,
No, listen, I know
stats
I
do
know
not lie.
I'm not shooting the messenger here, but this is just it's impossible. I mean, I watch these games and it's just like they don't know how to tackle.
Mhm.
It's like this is not nobody's got flags wrapped around their waist. Like you got to get the guy onto the ground.
Right.
It's
So I mean, maybe this is why the sports books have the over under at 47 and a half, because now
yeah,
that like we're talking about it and everything, I like the over.
yeah.
I'm starting to like the over. So Dak, you play, he's a QB 10. Javonte Williams is the QB, I mean running back 6. You
Hmm.
play him. No, Zach, I am still not in on Javonte Williams. Don't ask.
That's crazy.
And then George Pickens, you play him like, once CD has gone down. I mean, the first game without CD, when they played Green Bay, he was 8 for 132 and 2 touchdowns, like, or 134. I'm sorry, and 2 touchdowns. It's like he finally has a good quarterback to throw him the ball, and he maybe is starting to show that he could be a wide receiver one. I don't know.
Mm,
I'm not gonna confirm that right this
we'll
second.
see.
Need to see some more.
Yeah,
And then Jake Ferguson,
the
you
tight
totally
end won.
that's crazy.
The tight end won.
Tight end one, and he only had 7 targets last week against Green Bay. I thought for sure he like you and I remember us talking about this. Is like he's gonna have 15 to 20 targets. Like,
Hmm.
but I guess that Dak went to Pickens a little bit more, but still 7 for 40 and a touchdown. Like, yes,
Huge.
please,
Oh my God.
yes, please. Um, so who you got winning this matchup here? You gonna roll with the
Uh,
Jets?
no, this is Dallas. This is Dallas.
Dallas all
The
day.
vibes are so low.
I
Just
know.
like already thinking about. I'm not even.
Are you into 2026 now? Is that what this
I might
is?
be on the 2027.
Oh Lord, that's even
Yeah,
worse.
yeah, and I'm honestly getting to the point where I'm like, don't draft a quarterback in 2026. Just hammer the defense and let Fields play one more year. Who cares?
I mean, and it's not like, uh, can you blame this on Fields? Like, I don't think you could blame it on Fields. And
No, no, the defense is pathetic,
yeah,
as mentioned earlier, but
earlier,
it's not like Fields has done things where I'm like, wow, this guy has to play.
right. But like, I think that is, I guess, affirmation enough for like this coaching staff to say, you know, if the season goes as bad as where you're predicting, it's like, okay, you can at least roll Fields one more time. It wasn't his fault. We need to fix this defense, build it up through the draft, get a couple of more pieces in the offensive line, and then if Fields can't pull it through in 26, it's like, okay, now we go for the quarterback in 27. Like, so it could work out in your favor.
I
I could
don't know.
see it playing that way. Will.
Nothing works out in my favor when it comes to the Jets.
No.
Those words don't make one sentence ever, but that's
It
okay.
never works out. All right, we got two more 1 o'clock games left. Let's talk about the Houston Texans at 1-3 are on the road taking on the also shockingly 1-3 Baltimore Ravens. Sportsbook line has Houston as 1.5 point road favorites. Over under is 40.5 points. Do we see Lamar Jackson? Let me just start there.
I don't think so. I think they're going to be caught.
God
But like,
bless.
I want to say there's two massive arguments I have here. I say he doesn't play because they need to be cautious with a guy like Lamar because he
Mhm.
is your entire season. But if you lose this game, your entire season's over.
I was gonna say, and it's like
It's like apples and oranges here.
so, like it's you know what this feels like. This feels like the Cincinnati Bengals of last year, where it's like, do we see? Let's say they lose to Houston, and then with no Lamar and no Lamar again against the Rams, they lose that game. So you're talking 1-6, right, going into the bye. And then do we just see an absolute heater of a run like for them because they have to just sprint for the playoffs and every game is
Yeah.
a playoff game for them?
I mean, it's
Like,
definitely possible.
I
And
don't know.
I know they've had some injuries on defense too, which also hasn't helped. But
Yeah,
it's not why they're 1-3.
no, definitely not. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even know what it is. Like,
I couldn't tell you.
you know what I mean? Like, they looked good against Buffalo. That was a close game. They lost. Cleveland, they won that game handily. Detroit is Detroit. Like that, that was a tough game. And then, you played Kansas City, who's always, I guess, like you could say, like 3 out of the 4 matchups were just brutally rough teams that they're playing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The schedule does get like, Houston. I'm just looking at for running backs, but it's like, after the bye, it's you play Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, you go Cleveland again, but then like there's 2 Cincinnati games in there. Like I don't know, maybe they can piece it together.
Yeah.
Um, so if there's no Lamar, is it just Derrick Henry and check out? Do you even play with Zay Flowers?
I'm not. I have him on my bench at the moment.
Yeah,
I
wide
I
receiver
can't trust it,
16 on the year.
especially with Stingley, like similar to the Pat Surtain stuff. Like he's going to be shadowing Zay Flowers all day.
Yeah,
And I'm not putting my chips on Cooper Rush. No way.
yeah. So I think it's Derrick Henry and check out. I would look for another option for Flowers. I
Yep.
would definitely not play Mark Andrews and just go from there.
You know who I'm firing up on the other side though?
CJ Stroud? No,
Woody
no, I know.
Marks.
Woody.
Woody.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
mean, listen, he got the work and looked good. And
See
Nick
you
Chubb
later, Chubb.
did not. Like he looks like he is toast.
Yeah.
Burnt toast.
Yeah.
So, welcome Woody Marks. You get to play
Actually,
the
that's who I'm benching Zay Flowers for.
is Woody Marks.
Yeah.
That's actually all time, actually. Um, trying to see where's Houston? I lost him. See, is I guess the question is Baltimore that scary of a rush defense, or are we
I mean, they
just
didn't look at against Detroit. Completely different offensive line stories here, but they didn't
that
look
is
at.
that is true. And I was gonna say I don't think anyone looked. Wow, they're ranked 32nd against running backs. I would
Oh,
have never guessed that.
nope, never would have known.
That's kind of nuts. So yeah, you absolutely play Woody Marks. Um, you
And
know,
it's Nico, and
yeah,
that's
I
it.
mean you have to play Nico, right?
Yeah.
He's just the thing that just sucks is that like he almost feels like AJ Brown, but he's actually still keeping it together where like
Hmm.
AJ Brown just has these absolute disappearing acts, but
Yeah,
it's
it just
it's
kills you.
not his fault, you know what I mean? Like that's what sucks is that he's such a great athlete, and he's in the prime of his career and it's just sucks that CJ Stroud just does not have enough time to get him the ball because of how bad this offensive line is.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I want to say something. I want to say Houston traded another offensive lineman
Away.
or away. Yeah. Uh I just want to vet this to make sure that I wasn't like fever dreaming this.
It wouldn't
Uh
shock me.
yeah, no, they sent Cam Robinson to the Cleveland Browns 2 days ago for a 2027 6th round pick. So like I just don't know.
That's incredible.
Like
Absolutely
you
incredible.
must want your franchise quarterback to die is what I'm looking at. Like
Yeah.
this is negligence, like so bad. But you
I
know
don't know.
what are they gonna do? So we you and I we both have Baltimore here, even though Houston is the favorite, right?
Yeah, I just Houston's so disgusting.
Yeah.
So I just I don't like
Another
anything about
surprising
them.
team that could potentially be 1-4. Like they're 1-3 right now, and it's just like,
Right.
does it not feel like the loser of this game is like their season's like cooked?
Oh,
You know what I
100%.
mean?
It already feels like it now, but yeah, one
It'd be
more and
even more
it's that's
cooked.
the final nail.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, last 1 o'clock game we have for you today is going to be Miami on the road. Miami's 1-3. Carolina's 1-3. They're facing the Panthers. Miami's 1.5 point home favorites. Over unders 45.5. Um, Miami lost Tyreek for the year, probably
Yeah.
for his career. So Jalen Waddle, this is your team. You know what I mean? And I I told you in another league I made a trade for him. I think we can see a dominant Waddle again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the when Waddle was solo by himself, we all forget, right? His rookie year had 140 targets, 104 catches, 1,000 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah.
he's got it in him. You know what I mean? It's been suppressed, obviously, with Tyreek coming into town and things like that. But it's his show now, and he could look really good. I mean, I don't
Totally
know. He's
agree.
looked good. Devon Achane, you play him. Obviously, he's running back 7. He's gonna get even more work now with Tyreek being out. Um, and then
I think Tua could be an interesting
I was just about to ask.
start based off of bye weeks. I think you know, it, it, he's not one of my top picks, but in leagues like, ones that we're in where the waiver wire is scarce and, kind of don't really have a choice. I don't mind throwing two out there. The only other name you might have to start considering apparently, unless it's just a byproduct of playing the
Oh,
Jets, but Darren Waller.
say I'm in on it. Like I was
I
so
forgot
out
how
on it.
massive he was, such a
Yes,
massive target.
6'6", 238. Like I- he's necessary.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
now,
Like
yeah, now he
I think
definitely is.
If
Yeah.
Tyreek was not playing, I probably wouldn't bother. But with the fact that Tyreek's now gone, and it's like after Waddle is Malik Washington, who you've now seen Malik Washington for. Oh, he was a rookie last year, but didn't really do much. So I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not trusting that one. And Achan, like there needs to be a third piece here that actually provides some upside. And he's a big red zone target at 6'6". You know what I
Agreed.
mean? So
Yep.
I could so I'm if you're someone who's struggled with tight ends, or you have a tight end who's hurt, or a tight end who's on a bye, like fire up Darren Waller. Go ahead and do it.
100%. Yep.
Um, I just Carolina. I just don't know what is going on with Bryce Young. I sat here and told you, like, he potentially could break out. Had a rough week one. Totally understand, and I attributed it to the rain delay that was going on, and then even week 2 against Arizona, like believe me, it was rough, but he was able to piece together 328 and 3, but then after that, 121 yards passing, 150 yards passing.
The one thing I'll give him in the New England game, New England did have two kick return touchdowns. It kind of just opened that game up real fast. Um,
Yep.
but again, it should put him in a spot where he should have more than 150 passing yards.
Absolutely. But the other thing too is that, like, the reason why I thought he was taking that step forward was he was also being athletic and using his legs.
Mm,
You saw it in week 1 where he was 5 for 40, but then after that, only two carries, 1 carry. Like he's just, staying in the pocket. And I think in order for him to be successful, he needs to get out of the pocket and get moving,
yep.
so that they're not just sitting back for daring him to throw the ball. I don't
Yeah.
know. Chuba Hubbard,
This is a
y-
great spot for him.
this is an amazing, like, if we were to do starts of the week. I know we didn't do it, Woo, but Chuba
This,
Hubbard is
yeah.
like he's there.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah.
he's gonna smash this week.
I mean, if the Jets can average 8 yards per carry on in the first half, I mean, Chuba's going to dominate.
Yeah. Are you nervous for Tedero and McMillan?
No, because of how consistently he's getting targeted.
Okay.
9 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets, 8 targets. We've had this conversation about rookies. Gotta, you know, when you're drafting a rookie, you're in it for the full season. You can't give up early on these guys, especially someone like Ted McMillan, who was drafted, eighth overall, first wide receiver off the board, the number one wide receiver on this offense. I mean, looking at his box scores, it hasn't been great. He's a wide receiver 33 on the year, but another guy who's basically on a 50% catch rate. But it's still the opportunities are there. They're throwing him the ball. He has a game over 100 yards. He hasn't found the end zone yet. But his yards per catch is all across the board over 13 yards. 13.6, almost 17, 16, and another one almost 16. So, they're looking to get him the ball. The Bryce Young connection, it'll come. Again, it's only been 4 weeks, so I'm really not nervous about that.
Nice. All right. I needed that. You know what I mean? That little assurance that
Like he's
McMillan's gonna
someone
be all
he's
right.
someone I'm looking to, kind of trade for. Especially if he has another week that's kind of tough and he's killing someone's roster.
Maybe listen, I might find someone to take AJ Brown off my hands. Who knows? Who who has him? Oh, Zach does.
Zach,
No,
yeah, it's not
that's not
happening.
happening. Whatever. And then I think after that, there's no one else really to talk about on the Carolina side.
Simple.
Um,
Tet and it's Chuba.
yep, Tet and Chuba, and you check out who do you got
Yep.
winning this game here.
I'm taking Carolina. Miami's
Ooh,
defense is so pathetic. It's so pathetic.
it is. I think though I this is gonna sound bad, but whatever. I think it's for Miami offensively, it's the addition by subtraction of Tyreek Hill, and I think you now force Waddle to kind of really be a one, and Achan gets even more touches with
Hmm.
and he's such a dynamic player. I think that they could potentially run away with this game if they get the right pieces moving in this matchup.
Yeah, no, it's entirely possible, and they're definitely a team who can start fast.
Yeah. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is part one of our week 5 preview. Make sure you check us out part 2, where we go over all the other matchups, the 4 o'clock games, Sunday night and Monday night games. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the other side.
See ya.